We help contractors by the hundreds with all of the administrative burdens that surround handling their construction projects. That means helping them with Xactimate estimating, working with them on all the administration of their supplements, and doing the administrative services back office work that enables them to focus on selling, building, and billing.
We see contractors just starting off, maybe they're struggling with the fundamentals of running a construction business. They partner up with us, their process is now defined, they're able to grow their profit margins and actually scale because they're not held back with the burden of dealing with the supplementing process. I feel proud of what we've been able to do in this industry.
This is Larry Bache with the Merlin Law Group, helping policyholders for more than 30 years. If you have a claim or your client has a claim that needs help, please feel free to call the Merlin Law Group because we are the true policyholder advocate.
C3 was eager to help us, and even whenever we weren't giving them work, they were still eager to give advice. The things that they were putting out for the for changing from DMO to RFG and giving that to the industry and not charging anything for it, I thought was really cool. And that's stuff that I as a contractor appreciate. I'd recommend C3 to any contractor that's looking for a PA, especially if you're around Colorado. Great guys, man. I'm nothing but happy with the work they've done for us.
What's up, everybody? This is lead meteorologist Sean Choquette here for our daily 12 p.m. hail forecast, sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, and Art of the Supplement and Balance Claims. Thanks to all those guys for sponsoring us. The links to their pages will be in the description below if you're watching this when it's not live. When you're watching it live, I gotta edit it after the fact. So we had a lot of activity again yesterday, and it looks like we're gonna see more today in a more seasonable area, parts of Texas. Big old chunk of Texas is at risk for some big hail today, so we're not gonna jump around it too much. We're gonna go right into it here. Here are your weather headlines, and yes, very large hail is possible in central and southern Texas today. So no DFW, but places like Austin, San Antonio, Houston, all at risk for some pretty big hail today. And we also have a chance that's starting to look like a much more significant looking severe weather event is starting to trend to be more likely for this weekend. So that's on your Saturday and on your Easter Sunday, especially in Dixie Alley or the southeast, and on Saturday in places like Texas and Oklahoma. So it really looks like we're going to be seeing quite a bit of severe weather activity here moving forward between today and then Saturday and Sunday. We could very easily surpass the amount of hail reports that occurred in April of 2019. Just as a little note of how busy it's been, we had more hail in the last 48 hours than we had in all of April of 2018. 2018 in April was record low, so not exactly a really high bar to pass, but just shows how quiet 2018 was in April and then how active we've just been in the last 2 days. So pretty crazy stuff, and wash your hands, follow CDC guidelines, so that way we can get everything back to normal sooner than later. So we're going to go over a couple of the hail maps we made yesterday. So we had over 200 hail reports spread out all over the country. No 5-star maps yesterday. We made 2 3-star hail maps. This first one was in Sikeston and Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and Clinton, Kentucky. So this is all in the general Paducah area. We had up to tennis ball size hail, and that's going to be in Sikeston, and about 21,000 homes impacted. And here you see, these are all pictures I found. The first 2 pictures that popped up were in the Sikeston, and then that other one I just put on there is cool looking, and that was over by in Missouri somewhere. So looking pretty good storm there. The other 3-star hail map we made was down in Mississippi and included pretty much everything that happened in Alabama. So Meridian, Mississippi, that's the reason we had it as a 3-star map. And then Huntsville and Wayoka, Alabama. I think there was some town I saw a video of, like Eclectic or something. Alabama, that's in there as well. We had up to baseball size hail again. That was in Meridian, and about 29,000 homes impacted. The big thing with this, I didn't have any pictures on here, but I couldn't embed any videos, so there was some pretty impressive videos coming out of this southern half meridian. So check those out on hailtrace.com, and as always, it's all on the website. And we also had a 3-star wind map as well, and I just remembered I didn't put it onto our yesterday's maps. And that was in Indiana. The Indianapolis area had a pretty strong, very strong winds A lot of reports well over 70 miles an hour, and that was in sections of Indianapolis. And then we had looks like some pretty strong winds near Cincinnati, and so that's all available on the website as well. So hail forecast for today, jumping into main reason I'm sure most of you guys are watching here, and there you go, all the way up to baseball size hail, possibly even larger than that, anywhere in the purple, and that's all highlighted within the most significant zone as well. Looks like some storms are going to form fairly soon, next couple hours here in the Texas Hill Country, and they'll move east towards the I-35 corridor, so places like San Antonio and Austin, Texas, especially Austin, Texas, based on what the models are showing, we could see some pretty big hail here. College Station, maybe as far north as Waco, and then all the way down to the Rio Grande. Right, all those border towns like Laredo, Eagle Pass, even down towards McAllen, all have a chance of seeing some very large hail with any of these storms that form today. Unfortunately for Houston, it looks like it's going to be more of a messy line of storms by the time the storms get to Houston. So we're not going to say there's not a chance for hail, but I think the chance for wind in Houston is going to be significantly higher than it is for hail much larger than golf ball size. So going by city forecast, so I'm putting San Antonio and Austin together. They're pretty close to each other. I know they're only about 100 miles apart, but in terms of size of Texas and where we have the risk, it's about the same between about 4 o'clock this afternoon, 9 p.m. Maximum hail size up to about 3 inch. So if anything stays isolated and moves into the I-35 corridor, we could be seeing that hail potential, that Texas size hail, I like to call it, that upwards over baseball size hail. Borderline moderate to high chance. I honestly didn't put a high on there just because I seem to be cursing every city with my little high risk level. So I'm going to say moderate chance, and then just a slight, again, if anything is dropping big hail, chances are it's going to be dropping some Texas size hail as it's pushing through the San Antonio or Austin areas. So pretty good chance on that. Houston, however, 6 to 10 p.m., so a little bit later, and it's looking more likely these storms are going to congeal into a potential line, so it's really limiting that hail size up to about golf balls and a lower end chance for hail. So the best chance I'm saying for McAllen, there could be possibly a couple rounds of storms down right near Mexico. Up to tennis ball size hail there for McAllen. If we did Laredo, it could be even upwards of 3-inch hail. And again, moderate chance. Looks like we're going to see quite a few storms forming off the mountains in Mexico and crossing the river into the United States. So that chance of hail, again, pretty big. This is pretty normal for this time of year for Texas, especially South Texas. You can see some real monster hail in April. So here's that wind forecast. You can see the most significant zone shifted much further east, much closer to the Gulf of Mexico. Again, storms are going to start off as big-time hail producers and switch over to wind, and that's why we got that moderate chance for Houston and Corpus Christi along the coast, and that's going to be this evening, probably after dinner time. And then any of the storms that do impact Houston or San Antonio, if they are isolated supercells, that wind threat is there as well. Tornado threat's not super high. If it would have to be one isolated storm that can stay isolated for a long time. I think this is primarily a wind event in the evening and then a big time hail event early on. So looking at that future radar, kind of give you that visual of what I've been talking about here. You can see the storms forming pretty quickly, and this model has been real consistent, trying to show somewhere between San Antonio and Austin getting absolutely smoked with some real big storms early this evening, and then the storms kind of congeal into a line by the time we get over to Houston. And if you look over by where the Rio Grande is, we see quite a few storms forming in Mexico and moving across there. Those also could have big hail. So another potential big day here. Wouldn't be surprised if we made some more 3, 4, even maybe, fingers crossed, to those hail dances, we could get a 5-star. I know Texas, you guys are getting a little antsy now. You want to see some big-time hail in your area. Great Lakes stealing all the thunder. Well, don't worry. Friday, we also have a chance for some hail off to the west. Right now, it's a low-end chance. I think there will be storms. They'll be fairly isolated, and we'll be able to pinpoint that better tomorrow. But right now, that potential up to golf ball size hail. But if we get enough heating, I mean, hell, West Texas, you guys can get baseballs pretty easily. So Odessa, Hobbs, Lubbock, all that, that's where your chance for hail is going to be tomorrow. It's going to be the quiet day. So it's going to be a little break. So tomorrow we got the storms, potentially in West Texas, and then I'm going to jump ahead after I show the future radar for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So this is your future radar for tomorrow. You see a couple storms forming. This one has them sort of close to Odessa. And any of those could have hail probably bigger than golf ball size. I just went to golf ball right now due to some uncertainty and the fairly isolated nature of the storms. And then this is the look ahead. So this is your Saturday forecast, kind of weird looking. This one does include Dallas. We have pretty much all of central, northern, western Texas, and then even sneaking up into Oklahoma. Some of the latest computer models we're just looking at actually brings moisture much further north. The big system that's triggering all these storms has consistently been slowing down on the models, and the slower it moves, the more instability is able to form across the southern plains and give a better chance for storms on Saturday. And so it looks like it's trending slow enough now where it could possibly push all the way up I-35 into Oklahoma. We'll see. I think the much better chance is going to be in Texas, north central, southern Texas. Could be some big time hail with this. A lot of wind possible with this, especially into Louisiana. And here's Sunday. Sunday is looking pretty ominous right now. It's still 4 days out. We can see quite a bit changing, but I wouldn't be surprised. The Storm Prediction Center goes with a moderate risk pretty quickly on this one. Potential for, if everything pans out just right, long track tornadoes and some real big hail and all fast moving storms. And if things don't pan out just right, it could be just a big squall line with some very strong winds. So either way, we're likely to see a pretty big severe weather day on Easter Sunday. And that's everywhere from about Houston, possibly in the morning, all the way to maybe even the Carolinas by the end of Sunday. And then on Monday, this will be primarily a threat in the first half of the day along the East Coast. And this could see, again, a lot of strong winds. Maybe not so much hail on Monday, but definitely strong winds and that tornado potential. So we'll be covering all this all the way through the Easter weekend. Probably, I mean, I don't really have any plans for Easter this year anyway, thanks to coronavirus. So looks like we could be in for quite the weekend, and possibly, once this is all said and done, a very active 7 days of severe weather. So follow us here on Facebook, hit see first. So that way, if we do any live coverage later on today in Texas somewhere across those fingers, do those hail dances, we might be doing some live coverage in a big city in Texas. We want to hit see first, you don't miss any of that. And follow us on Twitter and Instagram at HailTrace, and give us a call. Any comments, questions, concerns, you're new to HailTrace, you want to get a training, whatever it needs to be, 855-334-4245 right there on the screen. You can email us as well. You can contact us on hailtrace.com. Any of those ways are perfectly sufficient to get a hold of us. So we'll see you tomorrow if I don't see you later, but I have a pretty good feeling we're going to be on day 3 in a row of doing some severe weather coverage. So I'll probably see you guys a little bit later. Keep an eye out on those notifications for any live coverage that's coming. Of course, any storms that we're mapping, and I'll have a good rest of whichever quarantine day today is. I'll see you.